So we're watching football, Week 11. We're watching Dallas, Carolina. How's the volume on the TV? Fine? Not going to interrupt?
It should be good. I think we got to...
I'm cool with it. If you're cool with it and your levels are cool with it, what you're seeing on your end, you're producing this shit, not me.
Your camera looks great. You have good sunlight. I'm in
my camera
I'm in like a dark hole.
Great, Paul. You're in a dark hole?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not good for you?
It's all right.
Can we see you?
We can see me, yeah.
Okay. As long as people can see you when you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just so I'm not like an amorphous floating blob. Like
no, we don't want that. Oh, like, did you see that recent plane video that's out there with the Malaysia flight where it just disappears?
I did.
I mean, what are we doing? Are we believing that?
No, I'm not believing anything anymore. I've gotten to that point.
I'm with you. I don't believe anything.
Nothing.
Even like a lot of the video that's coming over from the Middle East right now. It's like, be careful what you see on social media. Because you saw that one car that was like on fire, and then somebody gave the reverse, like the creation of that video, that it was just all AI creating the fire in the car, and it was a video, and everybody thought it was...
I just can't. Like
a bomb hit a car, and it was on fire. I mean, what? I don't know what to believe.
You can't accept anything at this point.
No.
That's the only intelligent thing you can say.
I mean, people, at a local level with some of the videos, like there is stuff going on. People are upset. People are marching in the streets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There is a lot going on. It's just... Sometimes I think people see these videos on social media that are not accurate and might be artificial intelligence, and it gets them more fired up, so it does affect what's going on in the real world a little more than maybe me and you. We can laugh about it because we're on the couch, but...
There's a lot of people who just flat out believe things. So yeah,
they believe everything.
Yeah. Well, that's good about community notes on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've seen some of it.
Community notes. It's a good thing. Just immediately debunks things.
Yeah, but is it?
It's still mob rule, so it's still even that could be controlled, but it's better than nothing.
Perhaps.
Because they will say like this was actually from 2015. This is not a video happening right now. Just even things like that.
You know what? There have been situations where I've seen a video, and they're like, "Yeah, this didn't happen because of
this isn't what it is."
Yeah, it happened 5 years ago. They did do this.
Yeah, it's a Metallica concert.
He was dancing and happy, not because of what happened in Israel, but because he was actually watching the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is a good community note that you can put there, because sometimes people can throw a video up, they have an agenda, and look at this scumbag politician reacting like this. Well, they were reacting to, they just won a big bet at the casino.
Exactly. I just want to tweak the audio. I'm sorry.
All right, tweak the audio. We got audio tweaks.
A little bit louder.
Figure it out. It's not...
No, it's just not hitting as loud.
Not hitting as loud?
It'll do more for you. It'll be easier for you later.
Are we able to keep going, though? Am I rolling? I'm going to continue here because I am watching. Is that Pollard? Tony Pollard for the Cowboys hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. We're in week 11. I've been doing this thing on a sports betting app. They don't pay me, so I'm not going to give out free reads. I don't do that anymore, though I just did it for Annie's. But Annie's is different. That's like a local neighborhood shop. You know, I can get away with that. But when I'm on my sports betting app, I like to do the anytime touchdown scorer. At least 5 weeks now. I do it every week. At least 5. But I didn't do it this week. I'm kicking myself. I've had so much going on that I didn't even get to set my fantasy lineup. I'm behind this week. But Tony Pollard for at least 5 weeks has been the one guy out of my 4-man parlay anytime touchdown scorer who hasn't scored a touchdown. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. So every week I'm like, this is the week, this is the week. And I didn't do it this week, and you know what's going to happen. Tony Pollard's about to punch it in here in the first quarter, Dallas, Carolina. So, all right, let's bring it back. We kind of were off the rails at the beginning. I don't know, was the audio good enough to keep
it was fine.
It was good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean...
Just a little low. We're rocking
There's just so much happening in the world, and we just kind of touched upon some of it. But I think the way that I feel is I sit back and watch everything unfold. I mean, some of us just live simple lives, Paul. Like,
and some want to live simpler.
Right? The way I kind of view it is, I mean, this seems like a simple mindset to have, but if you don't want to be here, leave. That's the way I feel. Like, if you think another country's going to treat you better than the United States of America, then just go there. Like, that's it. That's the way I feel. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? What's in the best interest of the United States of America? That's where I'm at right now. You know how I feel about the war machine. It keeps turning. And why it keeps turning? Because there's a lot of money in that game. We've talked about this many times.
And the same teams make the...
Right.
But
we've talked about people letting things happen to create wars, to... I'm not saying things didn't happen. I'm just saying that it's a corrupt system, and there are corrupt
and there are
people
opportune people too. As
running
soon as
the
something
show.
happens, they jump on it. But it's a good point you say. Like, if you don't like it, it's a lot worse other places. And I think it's almost the same thing as Belichick is going through right now. It's a lot worse other places.
There's a sign on the wall in Foxborough. I tell this story all the time, but when I was covering the Patriots as a reporter, when they traded Randy Moss, and I wasn't a guy that was in there asking a lot of questions. I was kind of starstruck a lot being in the locker room for all.
And
those
how
teams.
couldn't you have been that year?
You know,
how couldn't you? Have been?
Of course.
Yeah.
But I did ask Wes Welker. I asked him, you guys just traded Randy Moss at the beginning of the season. You're a Super Bowl contender. What does that say to the rest of the team when you trade a guy that good who's that important to you? Man, he didn't even hesitate. He was just like, there's a sign on the wall when you walk in here. It says, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. And Randy Moss was doing things at the time, like talking about his own contract in a press conference after a win. I think it was week 1 against Cincinnati. And Belichick was like, that's it. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. So see you later. Yeah. That's what Welker said. That's a great mindset to have. I feel the same way about the United States of America right now. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. It's as simple as that. That's how I feel. But that's a good Patriots segue. Yeah. Because for people that live the simpler lives, like me and you, that's a big story right now. What's happening with Bill Belichick? And it's a football Sunday, week 11. The Patriots are on the bye week. I haven't been on in like a month. Maybe, has it been a month? Month and a half?
Yep.
We keep doing these month stretches. That's because I'm opening another business. There's so much going on with that that I don't have time, even though I'm not even producing and you are. I mean, I just don't even have an hour and a half sometimes to come in and have our schedules aligned to be able to pump something out. But this was a good day to do it, where a Sunday the Patriots are not playing. We can pump something out that will still be somewhat timely. We have another week until the next game. The Patriots play the Giants, I think, in week 12. But they're coming off a horrendous game against the Colts over in Germany. And
their Super Bowl.
Germany's Super Bowl.
I think it was the Patriots Super Bowl. That was their only chance.
No Specken Sie Deutsch. So I don't know. The Patriots Super Bowl. When will they get back to the Super Bowl? And if they do get back to the Super Bowl, is it going to be with a whole new coaching staff, a new GM? It's definitely going to be with a new quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that, yeah.
But the biggest story right now is how it's all flipped onto Belichick and his future with the organization. And what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, I just feel very strongly about the whole thing because I am a Bill Belichick supporter. Because I'm not an irrational asshole. That's basically what this comes down to.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody that is looking at the small window of the last 2 or 3 years going, Bill, what have you done for me lately? I mean, I'm not an irrational asshole. I understand what he did for the New England Patriots the 20 years prior to that. I understand that Tom Brady was a major part of that. Yeah, no shit. People keep pointing that out. But to just look at Tom Brady and look at what's happening now and just deny Belichick's impact on what happened in the 20 years that Brady was here is stupid.
It makes no sense. It's a change just for the sake of change. That's all it is. And it's also ignoring everything else that's out there. Who's the coach? Who's the other coach you want?
Who's the guy you're going to bring
in here?
Gerard Mayo?
Yeah.
What has he done to prove to you that he's going to be a winning head coach in the NFL?
Belichick.
I mean, people saying Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
What has Vrabel done?
Yeah, what?
I mean, there's one guy, Paul. There is one guy that I look at And I go, if you could get him right now, if you're telling me you could bring this one guy in right now to coach the Patriots and be the guy to take over for the next 10, 15 years, if you can get him right now, I'm not signing off on it. I'm telling you, I would be willing to have that conversation. Can you guess who that guy is?
I can't.
Who I'm thinking of?
Who?
There's one
Who
guy.
is
I'll
this
give you a
guy?
hint. He is currently an NFL head coach.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm saying
you
bring
can't-
Deion Sanders in. Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. I'm not entertaining that either.
There's
one guy. I'm trying to think if I should give you another hint.
No, just tell me.
No, just tell you?
Just tell me.
Kevin O'Connell,
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings.
You're not getting him, but okay. Yeah.
Former.
No, you're right.
He was in the
though, yeah.
Patriots organization.
No, yeah.
And I'm not because he was briefly in the Patriots organization, but I watch his post game stuff.
That's a good pick, though.
I see the way he interacts with his team.
But I still would say, what has he done? It's still the same.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's the only guy that that I've looked around the league realistically and I've thought, I will entertain this fucking madness with you
Yes.
if that's the guy you're telling me that's going to come in next year.
Yeah.
I don't think Minnesota's not going to let him leave.
No, it's not happening.
Kirk Cousins is out with the Achilles injury. They went out and they traded for Joshua Dobbs. And by the way, Dobbs comes into the conversation with me too because that's somebody
next
I
year.
think maybe in the offseason you have to seriously consider. Kind of seems like a Belichick guy. You know, fourth round pick? Pittsburgh, I think. Bounced around a couple teams. He got an opportunity with Arizona. It didn't go well, but he had a couple really good games. Like he beat Dallas. Then he gets traded to Minnesota, and he's won the last two, so you can see what he can do with his arm, with his legs. He's an intelligent dude. You hear him talking in his interviews and his press conferences. He's got a high football IQ. He's not a prima donna first-round pick. You know, he's somebody that
guy.
I think he's a Belichick guy, but now he's a Kevin O'Connell guy. If you're telling me you bring that to the Patriots, we're having a conversation. But you're not going to be able to do, at least the Kevin O'Connell part.
It's a dream world, yeah.
Josh Dobbs is going to be a free agent.
Yeah. That's a big possibility.
Kirk Cousins is like 35, 36. Like, I don't know what his future is going to be after the Achilles injury.
But they almost have to go with him.
With Cousins?
Yeah.
Unless, but again, you get into the Patriots, like, do you trade for Cousins? Like, do you draft Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Right? Yeah.
Do you draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? I would have a tough time passing on Marvin Harrison Jr. I know they need a quarterback. There's just so much going on. Doesn't it kind of excite you?
It should.
All of it kind of excites me because I can't recall the last time as a Patriots fan
that you've
I
actually
was
been
in
excited.
This situation where I'm going, this is something different. We're looking at a potential top 3 pick in the draft, and like we can mix and match. Like there's things we can do. Like there's some serious talent.
Well, the top three,
the
top 3 in the draft. Do you want Mac just to go the rest of the season then?
This season? I think whoever.
I'm interested.
Even if they go Bailey Zappi, they're going to lose.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
We joked last year about Zappy Mania, but I think that was just more so we didn't want to see Mac Jones anymore.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And
But I also think just giving it a new look, you can steal 2 wins, and 2 wins might be a big thing.
Yeah, they might.
Like it really might be. So like, and I think like you just even excite Belichick with Zappy for the first 2 weeks. He might steal something. He might do something. Like, I don't know. I'm still a Bill Belichick guy no matter what. So I think if any excitement that you give that old man, he might win a couple of games.
You are leading me into a conspiracy theory that I just thought of right now.
Okay, I like it.
Like I'm just thinking of this. This is a fresh, hot off the fucking brain conspiracy theory. What if Belichick and Kraft know just how valuable a top 3 pick is to them for next year? And they know, like you just said, a win or 2
It's real.
could put them down into 6 or 7, right? Where they miss their guy, and then they're sitting there going, I don't know. Like,
do we all retire?
Do we take a quarterback way too early? Or do we take an offensive tackle? right? So
no, legitimately.
they know those 2 wins could be important, but they can't come out and just lose on purpose. So they got to create. They got to create something. They're creating some drama, right? And they're getting everybody all worked up. And how they're creating the madness that's going to help them not win to ensure them. Again, this is a conspiracy theory right off the top of my brain. I don't. You put a gun in my head right now, I'd say that's not what's happening. Belichick is going to still try to win.
Yeah.
But it's exciting for the first time. I don't know. I can't even remember the last time.
Well, you can set up the next 10 years legitimately. Like we've just been playing Cam Newton. It's just been like patch after patch after patch. You can legitimately set up the next 10 years if you do this correctly. Possibly.
So with that said, though, having that excitement, as I wrote a column on my website, DannyPicard.com. Make sure you go check it out. I put it out yesterday. And the headline was, "In Bill we no longer trust. Be careful what you wish for." We're sitting here, with me and you have been done with Mac Jones for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, this shit isn't new. The Mac Jones stuff ain't new to us. If you listen to the show, you watch the show on YouTube, you know.
This is apathy now.
I'm so fucking done with Mac Jones, it's not even funny. He's soft. The media's not going to tell you that. We'll get into a little of what Dan Orlovsky has to say about this in just a minute. But as we have this excitement, this Patriots erection, if you will, if you have that Patriots erection for longer than 4 hours, please seek your nearest sports media personality, like a Dan Orlovsky, who will take that excitement away from you just like that. How do they do that? How is the media taking this excitement away from us, Paul? They are looking at the losses, looking at Mac Jones being a failure, and they're blaming it on Bill Belichick. To the point where now we're talking about Bill Belichick being done with the Patriots. To the point where Dan Orlovsky is going on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN talking about he's even hearing the potential destination for Bill Belichick next season being talked about behind the scenes. All while he's doing this, he's saying to himself and to the audience going, I don't know what the likelihood of it is. Well, first of all, you cannot report something like that and then go, I don't know the likelihood. Because you know what that makes it sound like? It makes it sound like you're not giving a factual report as to what could happen. You're giving a report as to what you want to happen. Dan Orlovsky is the CEO of Mac Jones, Inc., if you've been paying attention to what he's been spewing. He loves Mac Jones. I don't know how much they're paying you, but it is not enough, big dog. It is not enough. It really isn't. That dude loves Mac Jones. It is unhealthy. He has an unhealthy, unconditional love, and it's strange for Mac Jones. He says, if Mac Jones was on San Francisco, he'd be having the same season as Brock Purdy. Bullshit. He might be having a better season than he is with the New England Patriots, but to just go out and say he'd be having the same season as Brock Purdy or a similar season? Come on, you can't prove that. It's more like put Mac Jones on a team that has an average roster. How would he be doing? How about put Mac Jones on the Houston Texans? Would Mac Jones be having an MVP caliber season like rookie CJ Stroud, first round pick? I don't think he would be. And you look at CJ Stroud, and I wrote about this in the column. He's an MVP candidate. And you know what I didn't point out in this column, and I know I'm probably going to hear it from some people because there are a lot of people that do disagree with me because they want Bill Belichick gone, and they're being irrational. But they're going to point out that, Mac Jones had a great rookie season. Well, was it great, or did we make it great? It was good. Don't get me wrong. Mac Jones had a really good rookie season. Pro Bowl. Well, why was it Pro Bowl? Because a lot of other guys didn't want to play.
Yeah.
That's what that game ends up being.
You got to remember the year. You got to remember everything.
Right?
Yeah.
So Mac Jones didn't have an MVP caliber season, though. CJ Stroud, as a rookie, is having an MVP caliber season with his arm, with his legs. He's only thrown 2 interceptions through his first 9 games, 15 touchdowns. Rookie. Paul, do you know anything about Houston Texans football and their roster? Because I don't.
I don't know what. No.
I had to go look at their roster a couple weeks ago. Who the fuck do the Houston Texans have? Because they got to have someone. They don't. They don't.
They have a guy making other people better.
They have a quarterback that is making average talent at best good enough.
We used to see that.
Good enough. We used to see it. And I kind of brought that all into that idea of a quarterback making receivers better instead of the receivers needing to make the quarterback better. That mindset, gone in New England. For some reason, nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Well, they've been broken down. They've slowly broken it, just taken.
They've taken everything.
They've taken less and less and less.
They've taken all of it for granted. because they just assume, oh, Julian Edelman, Hall of Fame career, Tom Brady's binky. Oh, yeah, he must have been a high-profile player coming out of college. He was a fucking quarterback at Kent State. He was almost Mr. Irrelevant.
They rebuilt his body for a position.
He might be the greatest receiver in Patriots history. And to think that Bill Belichick was the only guy that wanted him. Malcolm Butler, the only guy that wanted him was Bill Belichick. Won him a Super Bowl. In fact, Patriots don't win that Super Bowl without him.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go up and I mentioned in the column James White. Big game James. He ain't big game James in the NFL if Bill Belichick doesn't draft him out of Wisconsin and then they come up with a game plan with Tom Brady where he's going to be coming out of the backfield catching passes, something he didn't really do in college. He was a running back. He rushed the football. I think his reception rate I looked at in college was like 1 reception a game on average in 4 years at Wisconsin. In the NFL, it was 4 or 5 catches a game. I mean, he's in the Tom Brady era. James White is 6th in Patriots history in touchdown receptions. Not Patriots history, in the Tom Brady era.
Yeah.
6th in touchdown receptions, not rushes, touchdowns, receptions. And like all of these things, we can go on and on. Trading for Wes Welker, who was a nobody with the Dolphins, undrafted, turned him into probably the greatest undrafted player to ever play the game. Right?
Yeah.
The greatest undrafted player has to be Wes Welker. Can you give me another one? I don't know if you can. But like we could go on and on. And even if you want to bring in the bigger names that he brought in, Stephon Gilmore. And Belichick accused of not spending money. That first day of that free agency period, he went out and signed Gilmore to that monster contract from the Bills. Gilmore, the only interception in a defensive Super Bowl against the Rams, the most boring Super Bowl you ever see in your life. Stephon Gilmore with a huge interception. I believe it was down in the end zone. Who brought him in? Bill Belichick. Again, we could go on and on with the list of plays. Now, that's a little different because Gilmore was a superstar, legit, and I'm getting a little bit off of my, off of my path here with this rant. But we used to have a mentality where it was like Belichick would turn water into wine, and the quarterback, by the way, a quarterback that got taken in the 6th round of the draft, tip of the cap to Bill Belichick on that one, too. Like, I was trying to think of a situation. Bledsoe comes in that AFC Championship.
Oh, yeah.
That first Super Bowl, and he throws a touchdown to David Patton, and they beat Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb, just looking at the situation. Most coaches are probably sticking with Bledsoe for the Super Bowl.
You'd be nuts not to.
Honestly, because he was the franchise guy. He had the huge contract. And I'm not, and I don't buy into the Brady was just a dink and dunk guy his rookie year, but there was a lot to the Brady's first season that wasn't just go out there and sling it, even though that's what Bledsoe told him to do in that final drive in the Super Bowl. When Charlie Weiss, I think, was like, no, play it safe. And Bledsoe was like, just go out there and fucking sling it. And they did. And they got in field goal range. Vinatieri,
history.
The rest is history. Literally history.
Boston sports changed.
Boston sports
everything.
History. Everything. How many coaches?
I still argue Red Sox don't win if that doesn't happen because they saw the money. They just saw how much money was available for them, and everything changed. Everything organized after that.
I mean, I never thought of it like that,
Paul. The whole destiny, man. I think the whole destiny of Boston is from that moment. I really do.
It's just funny to me that you look at how all of it transpired, and we sit here now, and you watch this team, and you watch this product, and you can remind yourself of all the guys that Belichick plucked and put into this system, into this franchise, and won. Of course, Brady had a lot to do with it, but so did Belichick.
Exactly.
He's the greatest coach of all time. And you're going to sit here and watch this product now, and you're going to go, he ruined Mac Jones, get rid of Belichick. It's irrational to me. And Dan Orlovsky is leading that charge. And whatever Mac Jones, Inc. is paying him, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. Because
that's a sinking ship.
Do you really think that? First of all, if Belichick and Kraft are talking about destinations for him next season, then he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. if that's a real conversation, but even Orlovsky is like, oh, who knows the likelihood of it? Well, you better have a pretty good fucking likelihood if you're going on ESPN and saying it. But no, that's what he wants.
Yeah. He's projecting.
People want Mac Jones to be the guy. He's not the guy for the Patriots. And I said something in this column, and it was in the middle, and maybe I buried the lead, but I'm saying things that the media won't say about him. Mac Jones is soft. The only thing that I will criticize about Bill Belichick with Mac Jones is that he drafted Mac Jones in the first place, in the first round. I wish he didn't do that. And yeah, you could say that's hindsight, but that's the only thing I criticize Belichick when it comes to Mac Jones. People say, oh, he's had all these different coaches. It's like, dude.
I have a second one, though. Just
what is it?
Sticking with him long. Sticking with him this long. Because it was visible. It was visible for a long time.
Yeah, but
there should have been other contingencies for this season. You had all last season to see it. He saw it. If we can see it, he saw it too. He knew. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying like it's time. It's been a long time now. 3 years.
It has, but I think when you take a kid in the first round, you know, he was at Alabama. Clearly, he's got something in the toolbox to make him a quarterback that, you know, it potentially could have success. I mean, again, you saw the first season. It wasn't as great as everybody claims it was, but it was better than what we see now. And so I think you have that in the back of your head. You factor in he was a first-round pick. I think that's part of the reason.
No, but it goes back to what you said. You're just wrong for picking him in the first round.
I just think that that's the one thing. You know, everyone's criticizing him about other stuff, about surrounding him with other coaches and not enough talent. We just got away from the mindset for some reason in this town where the quarterback has to, turn the receiver into a, big play receiver, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about quarterbacks in the NFL all over the place. I think, look, you see it with like someone like Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers made Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Is Davante Adams doing anything? People could say, well, he doesn't have a good like, all right, which one is it? The chicken or the egg? Like, does the quarterback make the receiver? Does the receiver make the quarterback? I think you get situations where it's a little of both. I think maybe the Rob Gronkowski is a good example of that. I didn't point him out in my column because, Gronkowski definitely had some high value coming out of college to where, I think he had a high ceiling and there was high expectations for him. Playing what you put him with Brady, I think it's a little of both. But, someone like, again, Edelman is the perfect example. He wasn't supposed to have that type of NFL career. And the quarterback made Julian Edelman. And I don't mean to take anything away from Edelman, but that's just real life.
He obviously did the work.
That's just real life.
They saw the welcome position and just they said, let's insert another guy. And they made another guy. But he was the one who he did the work, obviously.
And I'm not asking Mac Jones to turn, to turn Pop Douglas into even James White. But I am asking him to, in the face of adversity, whether it's different coaches, whether it's injuries with your O-line, whether it's different personnel coming in, like, at some point you got to give me something that even drop passes. People go, oh, you dropped this pass, you dropped that pass. Well, you know what? Get back in the pocket and make a play the next fucking play. And, like, he just doesn't do that.
No.
And so I've been done with Mac Jones. You've been done with Mac Jones.
Almost everyone's come around.
They have, but they're putting an asterisk on their Mac Jones.
He was ruined.
Criticism now. They're saying he was ruined by Bill Belichick, and they're using that as an excuse to get Belichick out as the Patriots look like they might have a top 3 pick. And these same people, it's going to happen. They're going to say, you got to take Marvin Harrison with a new coach and keep Mac Jones. Some of these people are going to go there. That's why they're trying to get Belichick out. Is Belichick really gone? I
just think it's nuts because what does it give you? It's the typical the devil you know type of thing. You're asking for an unknown on the other side of this Belichick rainbow. It's crazy.
I mean, look, if it is true that they're having the conversation of where he goes,
then he's gone.
Then he's probably gone.
You're right.
The question is that true? Are they actually having that conversation? Is this just the same old...
And I don't buy that leaks out also, because I think that's a conversation between Bill and Kraft. And that's not a conversation in a board meeting.
I think what's happened is there might be frustration behind the scenes. There's no doubt. I'm sure Kraft and Belichick have had conversations about the future. But I also think that Robert Kraft is not an idiot. And you look at, let's just say Robert Kraft didn't even care about another Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
You'd still keep Belichick because you got that win total hanging over his head that he can catch Don Shula with the most wins. I think he's like 16 or 17 away, all including playoffs. He's like 20-something away regular season. But including playoffs, you want to become the all-time winningest head coach? Don't you want that guy doing it with the Patriots?
Isn't that worth something for them?
That's worth something. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. I mean, I know you're building the statue anyways, but...
That looks a little better.
You're getting the national TV games. You're still staying relevant because of him. It's just, to me, too much of a risk to go in another direction right now. And I'm only having this conversation because other people are having this conversation. If other people weren't having the Bill Belichick future with the Patriots conversation, Paul, wouldn't even be a thought in my mind. I'd be like, why? What? You're going to get rid of Belichick? Because no, I wouldn't even be entertaining this. But when people go on ESPN, they throw this shit out and it snowballs. That's what I think's happening, though. I think there have been conversations. I think there has been frustration.
Right? Yeah.
I think there always are.
Yeah.
And then I think you get people who have sources who get little bits of information, and human nature is to sprinkle in your own opinions and your own emotions. And what is ESPN now? It's just a bunch of people giving their opinion. Even Adam Schefter gives his opinion, which I've always said, someone like that is a dangerous thing to do. Because now you're taking Adam Schefter and you're putting him on the same level as someone who just gives his opinions, like a Dan Orlovsky and a Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And so when a guy who just gives opinions is now on the same level as Adam Schefter, now we're taking the opinionated guy and we're going, is that fact? Because everything Schefter says is fact. But now they're all giving opinions, which is fact, which is opinion. And so I think because of that, on a place like ESPN, everything gets exaggerated.
Yeah.
Everything gets exaggerated.
It's entertainment.
That's
right?
what it is.
Yeah.
It's ratings. And look, we're talking about, I mean, Pat McAfee's everywhere.
Anyone's doing it better.
Tip of the cap. Tip of the cap. He's fucking everywhere. I mean, I don't think I obviously would love to have that type of success. I don't think I'd want to be everywhere, though. Like, you start to get everywhere, you got to be careful that it's too much. Well, I think people start going, I don't want to see this guy all the time.
I think that's true, but I think when you're that guy, you're like, I got to get it all right now.
Get it all right now. Yeah, and he is. Good for him. Good for him. But, shows like that talk about...
For longevity, it might not be the best thing for you, but...
No.
But to make that decision, I would...
What, to go to ESPN?
I'd be everywhere.
They're giving him a shit ton of money.
I'd be selling everything.
Yeah. But, look, they're talking about Belichick's future, and it's not going anywhere. They're not going to fire him mid-season.
No, it makes no sense.
No.
It looks terrible.
You're not going to fire him mid-season. And by the way, make no mistake about it. If Belichick leaves, they're going to call it a mutual parting of ways.
Oh, yeah.
He got fired.
Yeah.
Kraft is like, if we don't do this, if you don't work with me on this, I will fire you. It's an ultimatum.
Yeah.
I don't think Belichick is going, I'm out. I want to leave. I want to go to Washington. Or I want to go to the Chargers. Or I want to go back to the Giants. He'll do it if you're making him. Like, I think that's the respect that maybe Kraft will be showing Belichick.
Yeah.
Hey.
And well-deserved.
We're parting ways. I'm getting rid of you, but let's do this smoothly. I'll work out a trade with another team. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
A team that's looking for a head coach will make it work for you. But make no mistake, even though if that happens, the media will be calling it a mutual parting of ways, it won't really be that. Ultimately, it's a decision that Kraft is going to make to fire Belichick.
Yeah.
And he's just handling it with respect because he does respect everything Belichick's done for the organization.
Yeah.
But he got fired.
It's never mutual.
If it happens.
It's never mutual, and it's a billionaire involved. It's just not. It's just...
And I think a lot of people throwing out Washington, if that conversation is real, I don't think it's Washington. Because even though they have the kid at Howell throwing 50 times a game, I think Belichick has to look at it like, well, if there's a place I get to choose here that's looking for a coach, it's a team with a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's the Chargers with Herbert. Like that's the one to me that would be the most enticing. And then if that can't happen, it's probably the familiarity with the organization. You got to think of the Giants.
Yeah.
And the Giants are going to have a top pick. So they could get their quarterback. But I just think, still, even with all this being discussed, I still think, Paul, if you made me bet right now, I still think Belichick's the coach next year.
I think so, too.
Because I think sanity prevails in Foxborough, because I think Robert Kraft, I think he is smart enough to realize, watching this, that Mac Jones didn't get ruined by Bill Belichick. He's just soft. He's soft. The media loves him because
he seems to be.
Well,
he's open.
The media, and I only know this because I've seen it firsthand. I experienced, and I'm not like, they're not bad people for this. You know, I don't. It's not like a personal vendetta.
Yeah, if someone makes your job a little easier,
but the
you tend to like them.
Yeah,
that's reality.
The truth is, when your job is talking to pro athletes, and you come across somebody that obviously has talent and has Mac Jones is a nice kid. He's got that innocent Southern charm when he's talking to you.
It's like Peter Parker. He's like Spider-Man. And
you like him, right? You like the person. Mac Jones isn't a bad person. Nobody is saying that.
We don't love the dancing, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think he thinks about the touchdown dances a little too much. And I think the last time we did the show, right after the show, he did the stupid touchdown dance, and Gronk ripped them for that. What game was that? I'm not even sure. They beat was it the Bills? Yeah, it was the Bills. They beat the Bills 4 weeks ago. And Gronk said, he's like, what was that celebration? Gesicki, Jones, they're flying around the field. You would have thought they won the Super Bowl. I love how people were showing the clip of Belichick saying to the team, like, go celebrate. You make a play, make sure you celebrate. Yeah, that's fine. You make a play, celebrate. But he's talking about like a quick celebration if you're a defensive back and you come in on a blitz and you sack the quarterback. Give a little celebration. Even the team defensive celebrations, they're a little much. But I get it.
Okay, yeah.
That celebration with Mac Jones and Gesicki at the end of that game, that was like, guys, you haven't done shit. You just won one game. Come on now. And Belichick can say that to his old teams because his old teams were winning championships. They were winning divisions. They were locks to get to the conference championship every year. Right now, come on. That can't happen. And so Gronk has every right to criticize that celebration because Gronk was on a team, they were celebrating, but they were winning.
Yeah.
Like they were giving us something. They were there before. Yeah. Act like you've been there before because Gronk was there before. But that was another situation where people irrationally defend Mac Jones. But now they coming after Gronk. Oh, yeah, Gronk, you never celebrated. It's like, yeah, because Gronk won fucking Super Bowls, you idiots. Like, what do we do? It's just the brainwashing. But it's, again, bringing it back. It's because he's a nice kid. The media loves him. They're going to defend him. They're going to support him. They just, I don't even know if they do it on purpose. I think they find themselves in a situation defending the kid that's nice to him that makes their job easier. Because that's their job. That's their life. And they hate Belichick because he makes their job very difficult.
Opposite, yeah.
He doesn't give them anything. Right? He comes off as arrogant. He comes off as rude. He comes off as miserable. He comes off as he hates you at a press conference.
And he deserves it. He can do that. He's been there.
And the media is going to act accordingly. They don't just do this in New England. They do this everywhere.
It is
But they have taken it to a new level with Mac Jones.
It's the wussification. We're going further and further. That's what it is.
But they won't tell you, what they won't tell you about Mac Jones and his mental makeup
His little ankle.
is his and again, yeah, I mentioned in the column, like, I think Belichick realized he fucked up with that draft pick.
But that's why I say, like, there's so much time, because that was such a long time ago, and that's when he should have known. And I think he did know, but like, it's what you say. It's like there's a weight to that first round draft picks.
Did anybody else talk about that situation like me and you talked about
I don't think so. I don't think I heard anyone talk about it.
I know I didn't hear anyone talking about it like we did. And you know why? Because people don't like to criticize toughness, and I don't like to do it either.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the guy calling out injuries either. So
no,
I
because
I do get that. Yeah,
I separated my shoulder on the ice one time after a hit, and I ran into I skated into the locker room crying like a schoolgirl.
I'm done forever.
Okay, like I get it. Like, the separation is technically an AC joint sprain, so it's like the same thing. I get it. I mean, I didn't have to be carried off the ice,
yeah,
but I definitely sprinted back through the bench and right into the locker room. You know, everything, jersey off, equipment off, right? So I get it. I'm not trying to compare myself, but you look at Aaron Rodgers tears the ACL.
Is coming back to practice next week.
Mark Andrews last week, like, serious injury. You know, he's walking off the field. Mac Jones sprained his ankle, and you would have thought they had to amputate the leg.
Yeah.
And I think Mac and his camp, they were, after that, looking out for him. Like, his future.
They were right what they did.
Yeah, I'd be doing the same
Honestly.
thing. I mean, look, I know I criticize Mac for it, but it's like, if I was in their shoes, I would be doing the same thing when it comes to, like,
Tens of
no,
millions
we're not
of
going
dollars.
we're not going to ice it up and tape it up and go play next week, and we're not going to do it the week after that either.
Yeah.
But what happens with that is, if you're Bill Belichick, there's no question about it. You're sitting there going,
Damn.
what's he doing? He's not ready. Like, we can't toughen this out and get out there.
Can't shoot.
What's happened?
Yeah.
You know he's doing that. Like, come on. Because there was that report from Adam Schefter, and I'm pretty sure me and you were the only people that looked at it this way. And I don't even know if you looked at it this way, or maybe you just agreed with me when I said this. What was the report? It was Adam Schefter put out a tweet after Mac Jones got hurt, and he said, sources tell me that any other player with this injury would be having surgery right now for what Mac Jones has. Mac Jones' ankle right now, his ankle injury, any other player or most players would probably have surgery with this right now.
And for some reason, everyone wanted to think that came from the Patriots.
Everybody.
That?
Everybody's reaction was, oh, that's the Patriots leaking information to Adam Schefter. And my initial reaction to their reaction was, so now the Patriots are choosing to give injury updates to Adam Schefter and the media? I don't
like
fucking think so, dude. People were like, oh, they're trying to protect their young quarterback. No, just because you're in the media and you have this weird obsession with the kid and you want to protect him doesn't mean the Patriots are going to do that. So I never thought that report came from the Patriots. I always thought that report came from Mac Jones's camp because they were trying to protect him from people who might question his toughness.
Almost getting in front of it.
Right? Like, Adam, like, you don't know, it's a sprained ankle, but you don't understand. Most people in this situation would be having surgery.
The laptop is disinformation.
It's not Hunter Biden's laptop. But that's what I'm like, I would put money that that came from Mac Jones's camp because they were his agent has a job. First round pick. Again, you handle that shit differently when you're a first-round pick, when you're got that prima donna, like, I was the top quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, I'm strutting my stuff at the draft, giving Roger Goodell the daps and the hugs, right? You know what I mean?
It's different.
And so it's different. That shit's handled differently.
It's white collar.
And I don't think Belichick liked that one bit. But make no mistake, I think that source from Adam Schefter was coming from Mac Jones's camp.
Well, and knowing everyone we know now, how they'll die on a sword for the guy. There's a lot of information coming from his camp. We know that's you can't argue that anymore.
But I think that's where the whole Patriot way concept began to crumble.
Yeah.
Because I think that might be the moment last season.
They had Tom Brady taking pay cuts. Like it's as soon as that goes away, it goes away. Like
It was no doubt. It was different. And like then in the offseason, you had Mac Jones reaching out to other people outside the organization for help. And it's like, you don't trust Bill Belichick? Like, it's just some other things that Mac Jones said. And then Bill O'Brien's yelling at him. And like, I wanted to see Mac Jones upset that he was getting pulled from that game. I wanted to see him slamming the helmet down, yelling back at Bill O'Brien like Brady was. And I hate to sit here and keep comparing Brady.
It's hard not to, though.
But we've seen other quarterbacks be upset to be. He was giving Zappy like the dap. Go get him, champ. We're a team. It's like, nah, dude, I don't. Like, no. Like, this is the one time you should be, like, mad, you know? The other times, like, keep your composure. But this is the time. You're getting pulled. Your career might be getting, the plug pulled on it right now.
Yeah. What happens to him next week, though?
Well, they don't have anyone else that's good enough to step in.
Exactly.
And so he's going to keep getting opportunities, I think. And who knows? He might win a couple games.
Don't you think they almost have to, just for trade bait, they have to play him? Because it can't get any worse. He could play himself into someone taking a chance on him, I think.
Well, he's only got, I think, 1 year left in the contract. I mean, I guess that brings us into now the conversation of what do the Patriots do if they keep losing and they do get a top 3 pick? Let me ask you, what would you do?
If they have a guy, they have...
Like, where would you go? Would you go quarterback? Would you go receiver? Marvin Harrison? I mean, if you're going to take a receiver, it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., if he's even available. Because...
I almost think that, and then but it all depends who Belichick has in mind. Does he have a quarterback in the league that he wants to pluck, like you were saying earlier, or does he have a guy in the draft that he needs that top 3 to seek out?
Well, here's the gamble. If you get the pick, the high pick, here's the gamble. The gamble is taking the receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., if he's available, which I think he would be at 3, and rolling the dice that you get your guy early in the second round.
Yeah, that he's still
like,
there.
Is Bo Nix there? Is Penix Jr. there? I texted you on Thursday?
Yeah.
And I said, Washington is playing on Saturday night, 7:30 on ABC. Watch this kid Penix. I've been watching all the quarterbacks. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Penix Jr., the kid from Florida State who had that brutal injury.
Oh yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
not
tough
him.
to watch. Did you see that injury?
No, I saw it today. I didn't see it last night. Yeah.
I have a tough time watching those.
I don't like any of that.
I had to see. Like, you had to out of the corner of your eye be like, how did the leg twist? Oh, you know?
Did you get full Gordon Hayward?
That's all I need. Gordon Hayward, that was a bad one?
That's a bad one.
Was it? You know what? The worst one I've ever seen. And it actually affected, the way I walked around for a while. This one affected, the average Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Who just
There's been
walking
a couple
around.
UFC ones that have been rough.
No, it was the Louisville basketball player.
Oh,
when he jumped up for a 3 at the baseline, and he just jumped. He just jumped.
And it folded.
Took a 3, jumped. No, his shin bone came out of his shin.
No, and everything just folded into itself. It was...
Dude, I didn't jump for 2 months after that. I didn't. I'm dead serious. I remember thinking to myself, when I was running, I would run, or whatever to warm up before working out. I was always thinking about, is my fucking shin gonna come out right now as I step down? Am I drinking enough milk? What is the reason for that?
What is this?
That's the one that affected me.
The for regular people one, the Tom Segura one. I don't know if you've seen that. They were playing Tom Segura, comedian.
The comedian, yeah.
Bert Kreischer. They were doing some basketball thing. Before he went up and his leg blew out, and then he fell down and his arm broke backwards. That might have been the worst one because it was just a regular guy.
It was his arm.
It was his leg then arm. So he
did both.
He did both. His Achilles, his ACL.
Did he get knocked out?
No,
Oh, I was going to say if he got knocked out and that's what happened.
No, he was not knocked out. One blew, and then he put his
shit.
arm down to break the fall of the other one. His arm went backwards as well. That might be the worst.
When you get the arm and the leg,
Yeah.
that's a tough recovery.
Yeah.
You don't want that. But anyways, where were we? Oh, the kid from Florida State, the quarterback. When I look at these quarterbacks, so just to narrow it down, I would stay far away from Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And that's only because, again, when you take a quarterback in the first round, especially, it's more than just talent. Caleb Williams got all the talent in the world. I mean, he made a play even last night, stepping up in the pocket on the run, almost like a leaping 40-yard throw into the end zone. It's like there aren't many guys that can do that shit. But when you take a quarterback that high, like you take Mac Jones in the first round, there's more that needs to be looked into.
Can you survive the NFL?
Like, what type of person is he? How is he going to react to certain situations just as a human being? And, you know, people criticize him for jumping into the stands and crying into his mother's arms or something. I'm like, whatever. That's
a value pick that dropped.
like, do I want to see that if I'm about to take him number one overall? Of course.
Not the best.
Of course not. Of course I don't want to see that. But is that like my definitive moment where I'm not taking him? No, but you know what is my definitive moment where I say Caleb Williams off my draft board is when him and his team come out and either leak the report, or I don't know if they leaked it or said it publicly, that he was going to not just want to be drafted to a team as an NFL quarterback, but whatever team took him, he wanted ownership stake. He wanted equity, Paul. And if I'm about to take Caleb Williams, and that's what you're worried about, like, fuck off, dude. Like, ownership. Who the fuck are you to ask for ownership of my company, of my business? Okay?
Wild.
Get lost. And there's people who defend them like, well, they're players, like, they make the organization money. It's like, dude, every business in the world has owners. Not everybody who works for the business gets ownership, you fucking fools.
I appreciate the ask, though.
I don't. See ya.
Buddy.
The Patriots cannot take him, just for that reason alone. Like, see ya. He's off the draft board. I don't care how good you are, you're gone. So Caleb Williams is out. Drake May... I don't know enough about Drake May's personality to sit here and say I would take him. I know a lot of people talk about him. That, you know, I know he's the Giants. I think he's on their radar.
Okay.
But I've watched him, and there's just too much. Is there too much fluff in his game? I don't know how I can describe it. Well, it's just not enough for me. I'm not there with Drake May.
Okay.
I'm not there with Drake May. I even think they might have lost last night. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not there with Drake May. Penix Jr., Bo Nix, the games that they've been in, and I've seen them, like, those are two guys that I have my eye off, and they've both spent a lot of time in college. I think they both transferred from other schools. But I told you, I texted you on Thursday. I said, watch this kid Penix Jr. on Saturday night, 7:30, ABC, because I've been watching him, and he seems to have, like last night, I don't know if you saw his post-game, he's like, shout out to my O-line. I didn't get touched all night. Like, just the swagger, just like the personality. Wasn't cocky, wasn't arrogant, but he's got, like, he does things with conviction on that field that jump off the screen to me, throwing, running. He's a lefty. I don't know. I think a couple years ago I would have been like, stay away. But now you look around the league, you're like, there are some guys. Like, I'm okay with it. Penix Jr. might be my guy. I just don't know. Like, would the Patriots look at him and go, we're going to take him 3 overall? Because the draft boards have him kind of like mid to late first round. Same thing with Bo Nix, maybe early second round.
I think it almost doesn't matter, though, if you really believe it's your guy. Take him at 3. What the hell does it matter? I know that sounds almost like...
Or do you not do the draft? Or do you take Marvin Harrison 3 and you trade for Kirk Cousins?
Well, I think like first you say, how long are you here for Bill? That's one thing. You gotta talk how long is Bill Belichick actually going to be here? Because if it's only 3 years, it's a different story. But if it's 5 years, then I think you take the quarterback. You give him that chance.
Here, I wonder what Minnesota's going to do. I'd be really curious to see. Josh Dobbs comes into that organization. I think Josh Dobbs, given the right opportunity, could be a very good quarterback in this league. I know it's a small sample size, but I listen to him talk like he's got a good head in his shoulders. He's obviously got a high IQ for the game.
Plus, you got tape on him, so you can actually kind of start formulating what you're going to do from that, too.
He's more of that like blue-collar guy, right? He's not the first-round pick prima donna. I wonder if he has success, if Minnesota's going to just stick with him and Kirk Cousins is available.
Or flip.
Or flip.
Vice versa.
Maybe they say, no, we're going to try to win with Cousins. And we're going to, Dobbs is a free agent. I'd be curious. Let's just say, for the sake of this argument, that Belichick loves Marvin Harrison Jr. They're keeping Belichick. He's going to be here. Kraft says, do what you got to do, big dog. You're still the GM. I'm not going to interfere. Belichick obviously wants to win. Yeah. Like, not just Super Bowls, because he wants to win one without Brady badly, but also that win total with Don Shula is very important to him. I don't care what he says. Belichick is a football historian. He wants to do that. So,
and it's right there for him.
Let's say Belichick's here. I mean, Belichick, you get three seasons of 500 ball, you get there.
Yeah.
And if given the right quarterback, he'll be better than that. So this is a big offseason. Let's say Belichick stays. Let's say you get pick number 3. I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. And then I would try to make a move to either get Penix
like
Jr.
that.
Or maybe Bo Nix. Second round. Take Bo Nix without making any moves. You get Kirk. You make a move for Kirk Cousins. Now, I am not a Kirk Cousins guy. He has lost me more bets than maybe anybody. I'd say Notre Dame has probably lost me more bets than anyone. But for individuals, Kirk Cousins, no doubt, has to be up there on the top of the list for a guy that has lost me more bets, whether it's me betting against him and he proves me wrong, or me betting on him and he throws the big interception in the big spot. Like, I think of Kirk Cousins, he loves to sling it, and I think Belichick would probably love to have him until, like, the last 3 minutes of a game. Right? When they're down in the red zone and he throws a pick in the end zone. Like, that seems to be the Kirk Cousins that I watch, that I know. But I think it's very interesting if you had Cousins for just a couple years and you had someone behind him like a Bo Nix.
Yeah, 2 years just to yeah.
You do a couple things. You give yourself a chance to win a Super Bowl, right? And you get those wins to get that win total, and you're also crafting the next quarterback that might be ready to go right after. Who knows? Can end up being better than Kirk Cousins. And you have Marvin Harrison Jr. too.
That's ideal. That if I'm Bob Kraft, that's what I want.
Yeah, Bob. I love how you just called him Bob.
He's Bob Kraft.
That is such an old school, like, salty,
he's Bob Kraft.
like, comment that you just made to call him Bob Kraft.
He is.
You're right. Like, everybody that I know too, like my dad and like my friends' dads, like, they all call him Bob Kraft. He's Bob.
Well, that's how they sold him to us. Like, back in the day, it wasn't Robert, it was Bob.
I love that. It caught me off guard. I hadn't heard him called Bob in a long time. I call him Robert because I write a lot.
Yeah.
And when you're writing, it's owner Robert Kraft, right? But that would be the ideal situation. Is he going to play out like that? I don't know. I mean, you know what?
That's a good story, too. I like that. We still have Belichick. We're still doing this. We're not. So when Belichick's gone, I think I'm done. I'm not like I'm going to like make a decision after that. If that happens, I'm going to say, I
mean, is it going to be like McDaniels coaching?
I don't want it.
And they draft Drake. They draft Drake May, and he's mediocre. Like Mac Jones is mediocre. And yeah, it's going to be tough to watch. I think let Bill get it back in the kitchen. If you want him to, let him shop for the groceries. Let's go. Let's give this a real shot.
One more.
Let's give it a real shot. Yeah. Now that you got a top pick, let's give it a real shot.
We're all done with Mac Jones. We can shut that door. Now let's do it one more time.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna. I don't know what's
farewell tour on one more.
I would like Belichick to still be the coach because it's like, be careful what you wish for. You know?
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for, guys. I don't know who you think's walking through that door and
That's
is like
the
an
thing.
automatic win as an NFL head coach.
It's more incompetence than good coaches. Like, it's like they're not. There's no one. There's no one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've named a couple guys, but you can't guarantee me they're going to do better than Belichick. Or like you could bring in a GM and a coach. You have two guys together. Still, doesn't tell me it's going to be better than Belichick.
No.
That's why I find it hard to believe that Kraft is going to do that. Unless Belichick is like, I got to go.
Unless he's done.
Like, is Belichick the one that's starting these conversations?
Then it's a whole different conversation then.
Yeah, then it's different. I mean, then
because then it is done.
It's
a
moot point. Like,
yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah.
He's done. I don't know if he is though.
I don't believe that.
I mean, I don't know. Is he going through like another divorce right now? I think there were rumors of that. Like,
what happened with that little video that leaked out of him stumbling around outside of a?
But again, that's like you talk about. Maybe that's not artificial intelligence.
Maybe it's just a guy who looks like Bill.
But no, maybe it was Bill. But maybe it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or maybe it was last weekend.
He was just looking for his paper.
And like maybe it was like 2 PM.
Shit happens, dude.
But maybe it was like a family member's house. Like, I don't know.
Could be anything. I know.
Are they saying like?
Why do we even get it? Like,
why do we care?
Why did we even get that video?
Who cares? Yeah,
I kind of like it.
Who leaked it out?
Bill's one of us.
who leaked it out?
I have no idea. That was a weird one.
Yeah, I don't even care. I really don't.
I thought Bill looked good too. If I'm just saying, like, I thought his body would have been a lot worse. So I'm like, he's still gonna hang out in there for another 5 years.
Big Bill.
Another 5 years, I think he's still got in that.
Big Bill. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should check in with Charissa Thompson, see what she thinks. Is she doing sideline reporting now for this, or she just strictly do the Thursday night game?
I'm not sure.
So we got Dallas up 10-3, about to score again in the red zone, first and goal. I took Dallas minus 10.5. I have a couple heavy favorites. I got San Francisco minus 12.5 as well. This is the only game that we've been watching, though I haven't really been paying attention. I'm surprised that in the final minute of the second quarter, Dallas is only up 10-3 on Carolina. I'm very surprised by that. Lions are up 14-10. All right, I took Detroit minus 7.5. Let's see, what's the other game? The other games I didn't. All the other games I have are in the afternoon and the night. We mentioned Minnesota. They got a big game tonight in Denver. No, we don't want to get too much into it. By the time you listen to this, that game's going to be over. So let's keep it timely. But I do have to. I mentioned Charissa Thompson because I think. Do you know what's going on with her? Like what she said?
No.
She used to be a sideline reporter. Now I think she just does like the Thursday night football. She hosts the pregame, postgame. I think that's her. But Charissa Thompson went on a show the other day, and she was talking about how. So she was the sideline reporter, like talking to coaches at the end of the half, right? And she said coaches didn't really want to ever talk, so she used to make shit up. I know, like it's funny.
That's terrible. Though. It's so funny.
She used to make it up. But she said, she's like, I didn't completely make up. She's like, I would say something that I know the coaches wouldn't be mad at me. Like, she would say something simple, like, and I wish I knew exactly what she said. She's like, I'd make up something simple, like, you know, if they were getting crushed, she would say, oh, they just said they need to step up their defense in the second half. Something that they probably would say. Like, she didn't come out and say,
I kind of appreciate it. Yeah.
You know, like, it's funny because she said it, but I think she went on this little rant to say she made stuff up, as minor as it was, and I think she thought everybody was going to have the reaction we just did, like, oh, like, that's kind of funny, you know? Like, it's pretty shitty in a way.
It's also like, it's not the most important job. Like, I'm fine with her doing that, just to facilitate it.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go that far.
It's just to, like, move along the commercial breaks. Like, it really is.
But there are people who... So, let me get
What about people who are betting, though? Are they like, oh...
Oh, like the live bets now at the sport?
Yeah, anybody live betting?
No, because, again, she was saying things that was so innocent
okay.
that I like, again, she talked about this. I wish I had the direct quote, but you get what I'm trying to say. She was saying. But Charissa Thompson, she went on this rant. She said she used to make stuff up in an innocent fashion where nobody would be upset, and it wasn't going to be like breaking news, game-changing news. It was obvious stuff that they probably would say if some of the coaches wanted to talk to her. And I think she thought this was going to get a better reaction from people. And what ended up happening was all these sideline reporters, like, attacked her on social media. Like, fucking attacked her. Like, the outrage culture of it all was insane. So, at first, I'm like, all right, I kind of laughed, but then I was like, yeah, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, because I was thinking of the people, like, I'll give you an example, like someone like Mike Giardi, who used to be a sideline reporter for NFL Network. Like,
probably not doing that.
got cut, got released, definitely wasn't doing that, and probably sees a story like this and is probably pissed off, as well he should be. I care about someone like that, and I can relate to someone like that because that's for him, he should be mad hearing this. That's bullshit. He's out of a job because this woman is making shit up. Fuck that, right? Someone like that who's out of a job should be upset. But you had all these sideline reporters, I think mostly, female sideline reporters, who are current sideline reporters, who have jobs, attacking her.
Well, they have to like almost verify that they're being truthful. That's what they're doing. They're like, right? Everything I've said.
That's exactly what they're doing. But it was to the point. It became too much.
People take things too seriously.
Right. So here's how I function in life. It's like I try to stay level-headed, and I know sometimes you think I don't because I go on these rants where I get emotional about things, but I only get emotional about things because as I try to stay level-headed, somebody, goes off the reservation and like is completely losing their mind, and so I'm going, why are you getting this worked up about this? The outrage culture. So I flip my stance and I go, well, at first I sided with you, but now you're taking it a step further than it should go, and I'm against that. Yeah. I'm not going to stand for this. And it's this. I feel that way with all these sideline reporters attacking Charissa Thompson, the current sideline reporters. If you're someone that lost their job and you see her doing this and you're trying to stay in the industry, you should be pissed. But all the current, it's like, you know what? Before you start throwing stones at Charissa Thompson, as you are sitting pretty with a nice little job on the sideline full time, why don't you just make sure before you throw stones at Charissa Thompson that you have your job for all the right reasons. Okay? Let's make sure of that before you start crushing Charissa Thompson for something that ultimately I think is a pretty innocent thing that she did.
Yeah.
Again, if you're somebody that's out of a job because of it, you should be frustrated, pissed, bullshit. You should be the one attacking her. If you got a job right now, all right, you better make sure you have that job for all the right reasons before you come after Charissa Thompson. Okay? Because chances are there's probably somebody out there that can do your job a little bit better than you. Yeah. So shut the fuck up. But that was pissing me off, the outrage thrown her way, where I was like, at first I was on this side, like, that was stupid. Why? Like, Charissa Thompson definitely thought she'd be getting a better reaction than this. But I thought, like, you shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. But I kind of laughed. And then the outrage was so bad where I flipped, and now I'm siding with Charissa Thompson because it's like, nah, I was trying to keep it cool, and you guys took it, you took it too far.
Too serious.
Like, to attack this woman, like, fucking relax. All right? Everybody's so sensitive. They're so worked up to jump on social media and X and march in the streets. Like, cut the shit.
You gotta have your special flags up in your profile.
Oh, man.
All nonsense.
You don't have an American flag, then fucking put it away.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. There's a sign on the wall. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. And maybe that's how we cut this show off because I think we got to the meat of it, right? The Mac Jones, the Bill Belichick stuff. I had to get that Charissa Thompson thing off my chest. There is a lot of crazy shit going on in the world. Me and Paul don't have the answers, so if you came here for us, nope. I know in the past we've had many discussions about wartime situations.
Not this one.
Well, my stance on it all on
Stop feeding
on
the machine.
war
It's
on
mine.
the war machine
Yeah.
continuing to turn doesn't change.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with all this stuff, people don't ask the right question, which is how the fuck did the first thing happen?
Yeah, exactly.
How did that happen? Are we done in trying to ask that question? Right? It's like COVID. You know, and I
that's
said
over,
the
man.
C word. It's over. We're done.
over,
We're gonna
yeah.
get this show. You're not even going to fucking see this show. Right? But it's the same thing. How are we not asking ourselves, like, how do we not know for sure how COVID started? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we don't ask that question. How did this happen?
How do we continue to do business without knowing?
And so when you bury that question with anything, whether it's like a terrorist attack or whether it's a pandemic, anything, it doesn't matter. If you bury the logical question that we all should want an answer to, how does this happen? Then you're just creating people like us that want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
all it does.
I got news for you. The deeper you go down that rabbit hole, the crazier shit gets. Okay? So, I don't know when we'll do this next again, but who knows? Maybe we'll just do the month, right? We've been doing what's it? November, so we get Thanksgiving next week, the holidays. Maybe we'll try to squeeze one in before Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? Because by then we'll have a couple more Patriots games. We'll see where the Belichick rumors go. You know, I'm assuming that Milan Lucic will no longer be on the Bruins by then.
He'll be erased from history.
And the only reason we're not getting into that is as we record this,
You
we
just
don't
know.
have all the
You
information
don't know
yet.
anything, yeah.
And I know we like to, again, outrage culture,
You got to just take a beat
I
on
don't-
some of these things, I think.
right? I mean, people attacked Trevor Bauer,
Yeah.
all right? And then look what happened.
Yeah.
That girl was a scumbag,
Yeah.
and she made it all up. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's what's happening with Lucic. I'm just telling you.
There's not
As we record this, we don't have enough information.
Makes sense.
And you know, get to the bottom of it. But I'm assuming they're just going to part ways,
Yeah, he's going to be gone.
right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. That's the way it happens. And then the Celtics, we didn't mention them. Just quickly, I mean,
Porzingis, keep that man healthy. 'Cause
yeah, lock
he's the
Porzingis.
I love Porzingis, man. I love him he's the best player on the floor some nights.
I know I went hard
Keep him healthy.
on the Porzingis stuff, and I heard it of a lot of people.
Dude, he's great.
A lot of people disagreed with me strongly. And they strongly disagreed with me on that. Now, I think those people wanted to hear what they wanted to hear. And so what I said was, I just expect Porzingis to get hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't think Drew Holiday is Gary Payton.
No.
So,
And Porzingis still might get hurt. They're nursing something right now. So
but what I also said was, even if they remain status quo in the offseason, the Celtics potentially could still get to the NBA Finals.
yeah.
Because I'm the biggest Tatum guy in the world. And if they just remain if they just hit some threes against Miami last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's why I wanted to bring in Lillard.
Yeah.
I saw their hole. They needed to hit threes. Bring him in.
Brown stepped up, so it's looking good.
And so, yeah, it looks good right now. And I think people thought I was saying that they bring in Porzingis and Holiday and they're going to become a losing franchise. I wasn't saying that.
No, you were just always questioning his health, which is an obvious question. It's still there. The question's still there.
So we'll see where they're at, but they're off to a great start. I hate
I hate the
tournament.
I hate the court. I can't look at the court.
Stupid. And Jaylen Brown might have got hurt because of the court. Yeah, I have to change the channel. It's too much.
No, but
I did it. It was funny the other night. I was watching the game and they had the new kid filling in for Gorman.
yeah,
And the Raptors have a kid whose last name is Dick. And it's just a very humorous. And they acknowledged it.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I'm going to say his full name every time he gets the ball. And they did. He said his full name. But you just it was a funny moment. I know it was childish to laugh at that, but
that's good though.
It was funny. I
thought that guy did okay. I didn't. We're gonna have to move on someday, so he was fine.
I mean, I hope Gorman changes his mind, but
I see why.
what? By the way, I don't know. Maybe I should have the answer for this. What? I hope he's all right.
Not. I mean, we don't know anything.
Not Gorman. Clearly, something is wrong with Jack Edwards. He has there's something going on. I'm not like knocking.
It's not public. I don't think we know anything.
He talks, and I noticed this last season. I texted a buddy of mine. I'm like, is Jack Edwards like talking very slow? Is it my TV? He is speaking very slow, and I'm worried. I wonder what the conversations are there with that, because it's obvious now. Maybe it wasn't as obvious last season. It has gotten worse. I hope he's okay. Sometimes it's hard to, because you just watch the game and you just feel bad the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad if you have something going on. Like, I just feel bad. Like, I don't want, we want Jack Edwards to be healthy. I want him to have that intent. He does have the intensity. It's just it's the elephant in the room when you watch a game and you listen to him.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But like, what are you going to do? And maybe it's just my TV. I don't know. But you don't notice it? Do you notice it?
A little bit, but not to the
maybe it's me.
Saying, yeah.
I hope it's just
I almost
me.
thought it could have just been like a note of someone just saying, hey, slow it down.
I hope that's it.
Because
I don't think it is, but I hope that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't think that's it. All right, you got anything, Paul? Wrap this up. Am I missing
let's go.
Am I missing like a big story?
This is mostly the Mac Jones show. This
is the Bill Belichick show,
yeah.
and it just has Mac Jones is like involved.
Yeah. Putting him to bed, hopefully.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to the show. Smash that subscribe button. Something I should say in the first 5 minutes of the show. That's what everyone tells me to do, and I never do it. Get my latest Belichick Mac Jones column on my website, DannyPicard.com. Paul, great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.